Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
We're on.
We're here to investigate.
The biggest piece of news that I want to talk about first and foremost is Entertainment Weekly even did a special on the movie once they dropped the trailer out, and I don't know if it's accidental or what, but they dropped a huge piece of news that we've been talking about for months. A long time ago, they mentioned specifically when the movie was announced that they weren't sure about how to take Michael's supernatural presence, right? Mm-hmm. And we thought, they were saying, oh, we don't think it's scary that he's supernatural and unstoppable. It seemed like they were going to maybe make him mortal. And that scared the fuck out of all of us because we're like, they're going to kill Michael. They're going to come back for one more movie and they're going to kill Michael. And we've always
maintained... to be honest, I really thought they were too. I mean, I even thought up to this point that they were going to.
Well, and I mean, to be honest, we all knew that if the movie made a certain amount of money, which it seems with the fandom going on, it seems like it's definitely going to reach that point, that they would find a way to make another Halloween movie. But this is great news in my eyes. I know some people, even the supposed test screening guy who saw it was
they not real? Test screening guy
was apparently pissed about the end because it wasn't final enough for him. You gonna just drink that, man?
Yeah.
It's like all I can see in my fucking periph is that goddamn bottle. Ew.
Shit, it doesn't make a sound.
I can smell your breath now. Possibly this could be a spoiler, so I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. So if you don't want to know about this, it's going to be pretty widely known. Like I said, it was on Entertainment Weekly. So
well, that's true, but there are some people that want to go completely blind and watch the movie, and that's completely understandable. There's a lot of people that did the same thing for Infinity War. They didn't even watch the trailer. So if you don't want to watch or have any kind of spoiler at all, you might want to go click out of the video. Go watch one of our other skits and shit. Yeah. Being based. We loved it. We
don't want to be the ones that fuck that up for you. For the Entertainment Weekly article, here's what Danny McBride said. He said, we were going to shoot 2 of them back to back.
Oh.
Then we were like, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This could come out and everyone could hate us and we'd never work again. So let's not have to sit around for a year while we wait for another movie to come out that we know people aren't going to like. So we were like, let's learn from this and... where was it? Let's learn from this and see what works and what doesn't. But we definitely have an idea of where we would go with this branch of the story, and hopefully we get a chance to do it. So to me, that tells you right there, Michael ain't gonna die.
No,
he ain't gonna fucking die.
If he was gonna shoot back to back, they never even started with the intention of killing him. Even though we thought, a lot of people thought that get John Carpenter on board, John Carpenter's only gonna come back for one more, and this is because they're killing him off. But hey, if you're going to make back-to-back and you're going to go ahead with it and say, well, let's make the first movie and get the hype around it and make a really good product and then test that out. And if it does well, we have plans in place for something else. Also, I think the only thing that we all, it's pretty much universally agreed that Jamie Lee Curtis is done. Like, I don't see her coming back at all.
And that's another part of the round of interviews that they did. She went really into depth on her character and why she came back to do it. Originally, she said they called her to pitch it to her, and she was like, no, I don't want, just send me the script. And she said the reason she came involved with it, she actually, there was some really cool stuff in the interview. You guys should check it out. She mentioned H2O specifically, and she's like, what happened with that movie was, she said originally that was supposed to be it. That was supposed to be the final. But then they went back, as you know, and they changed the storyline. And she said the only reason she came back for H2 is because she felt like she owed that to the project, because she said that her character was kind of left without an ending. Yeah. So she came back for H2 solely for that reason. And then 20 years later, she came back for H2O almost for the exact same reason, because she felt like she owed it to the franchise to really put a cap on her story. And how cool is that it's going to be 20 years later? And she actually mentioned that when they said they were going to do Resurrection, she was like, you know, I felt the same need, basically. Well, like they said they were going to end it, so I came back to end it, and that's what I did.
And she found out that Busta Rhymes was in the movie. Yeah. I mean, how can you turn it down?
But...
He's so stupid, Michael! He's so stupid! Mike! Remember your sister, Michael!
Her character arc and all this stuff they've been saying about a finalization, they're talking about the story between Michael and Jamie. Yeah. Michael sounds like it's definitely coming back, and that's the best piece of news I could possibly get.
I think that it's almost, in a way, kind of like with Jamie Lee Curtis, the Moby Dick novel, Herman Melville. We read shit. Ishmael catching Moby Dick, the whale that he's always sought after, but ultimately dying because he's obsessed with it. Now, if any indication of that trailer and the way that it was going, and I think that's what really got Jamie Lee Curtis back on board was it was told really well, and kind of that I'm obsessed with this monster creature that's, you know, she even says in the trailer, I've always wanted him to get out so I could kill him. But ultimately, she's consumed by that revenge, by that rage itself, and dies for it. And Michael doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'll kill you anyway. But I mean, it's because maybe that was so entrancing for her, and she's like, you know, that would be a no. Like, she has become the town craze, and she's just obsessed with the idea of Michael Myers to the point where it's almost mania. Almost kind of the same way and she was in H2O, but to another level of degree, and that's where she wants to end it.
And also it comes full circle for her because it's, even if she dies, it could be in a happy ending because, as they say, you see this whole movie through the eyes of Andi Matichak's character, and she's her granddaughter. So if she can somehow shield Andi Matichak's character, her granddaughter, from what she went through and what fucked up her entire life and ruined her life basically, then it's almost a win for her in a way, and it's a full circle cool kind of moment. So and this is just assumption. We don't know.
Yeah,
this,
we're just talking out of our buttholes, but we never know.
For whatever reason, he was obsessed with her. He wanted her to die. That put her granddaughter in harm's way. And with her dying or veering him or stopping him for the moment, at least she will protect them and he'll move on. And who knows what they're going to do with the sequels. But that's going to be even more exciting because they can go anywhere.
Yeah, they did to be careful with that, because if they do, what I was saying was like the granddaughter being another line that he has to cut off, because maybe he doesn't die, and he kills Laurie Strode, and Laurie Strode dies thinking that Michael's dead, and Michael's not dead, and then he wakes up and realizes that the granddaughter's still out there. I mean, then you go back, even though it would make sense and that could be an opening for a sequel, it does go back into the same rotation, and once again, of Michael just hunting down this family and being obsessed with that, even though he does kill other people.
I want them to, like, if you look at Star Wars with The Force Awakens, like, they basically remade the first movie, right? Yeah. Now, whether they've lived up to this or not is another thing, but when you talk about what was most exciting about Star Wars coming back is the fact that they could take the story into new places. Now, this is kind of the same way, and it's not a reboot, it's not a remake, but it's tying into the original, plus they're adding new stuff to it. To see what they would actually do with the sequel would be fascinating. Like, I would love to see where they go with that and where they put Michael on his path in the future. That's amazing to me. But
yeah, well, it's like that strip that we read, which it is pretty badass.
Halloween Returns?
Yeah, with No One Is Safe.
Yeah.
Like, even though I don't know how Michael learned to fucking write so well.
He was doing very well last night.
He graffitied that shit.
Yeah.
But it was cool, and you know, that if the dog is off the leash in that sense, then, and he's directionless, and now it's this stalk-ass monster out there that doesn't have any goal whatsoever, except to cause mayhem and destruction and evil wherever he goes. That's scary in itself. Now, it does get into the point, and it begs the question, because it's always those movies, it's just, people do it, and they're going to ask and demand it. What is Michael Myers? What is driving Michael Myers? They gave Jason a reason, even though he went to Manhattan for some fucking reason, but they gave Jason a reason overall. Freddy Krueger has his reasons, and Michael Myers did have his reasons, but once you do that, then Michael Myers literally has no reason to do what he's doing.
Which I like. I like the fact that you don't know why. I think that's the scariest part of it all.
And to leave it unanswered.
And I think definitely if you listen to these guys talk about it, that's how they feel too. And for those of you who don't know, at the end of the Halloween Return script, the since canceled script, he at the end of the script wrote in blood on the wall, "This town will never be safe again." And there's some people who say, no, I want this to be the last one. There's been too many sequels, let it die, all this stuff like that. Like, look, even the movies I hate Resurrection, you know? There's movies in this franchise that I absolutely hate. Even Rob Zombie's H2, like, I'm glad that they exist. Like, I'm glad they exist because it gives us all these movies to go back and talk about. It's this fantastic lore. You're not going to ruin anything. You know, nothing's going to ruin anything worse than H2 did, and we're still kicking alive today. So I definitely don't. I don't want this series to end. I don't want Halloween to end. Why? In this age right now, this horror renaissance that we're going through, would you take one of the classic, the best of the best, and kill it and end it? Like, keep it going, man.
Why? I would never. Like, I know. I've talked to people, some at work, just other people that say that why are they making another Halloween? That's fucking stupid. It's dumb anyway. It should have been dead a long time ago. I was like, have you no soul inside your face?
And she also mentions these specific words in her interview. She's like, it's kind of a palate cleanser, and that's what this would be. Like, you do this movie, you bring people back in, you remind them of what Halloween's about, you set the storyline at the point that you're going to set it out, and now they can get very original. They can get creative. They can change certain things, and they can move Michael Myers forward and do things to make him scarier for a new audience. And I think it's a fantastic idea, and I'm psyched as shit. Like, dude, every bit of news that comes out is amazing. Like, there's nothing negative. I'm so psyched right now. But little quick tidbits that also came out, and this big wash of news that we've gotten is they do mention specifically, they confirm that they will address the fate of Dr. Loomis in this movie.
Thank God.
Thankfully. And you saw in the trailer the court caricature of him in the courtroom when they're talking about
it makes me real. I'm glad that Dr. Loomis is gonna be name dropped and he's gonna be part of the lore no matter what. But it's just really shitty. Like Donald Pleasance isn't alive to enjoy it. You know, because he would have been the first fucking one to be on board with this. Yeah. Like he loved that character. I know he did. I didn't know Donald Pleasance. I wish I did.
Just very much retired.
But Dr. Loomis is so essential to the story of Michael Myers and that arc. What would be cool though is if they showed maybe for just a second. You saw you see the back of Dr. Loomis. You saw that sketch, and then you hear Dr. Loomis's voice. You don't see his face. You just see his back and maybe him addressing the court.
Yeah. And
then hear him talking a little bit. Maybe throwing in somebody that kind of sounds like Loomis. That would be cool.
Whatever they do, man, I'll be giddy as fuck. Some also small tidbits. FX artist Christopher Nelson and David Gordon Green were talking about. They mentioned the gore, like how R-rated is it going to be? Like how bloody is it going to be?
So R-rated.
And what they said was he said there are a lot of kills. Specifically,
good.
There are a lot of kills, which is fucking fantastic.
They better be good ones.
Now, talking about, are we going to go Rob Zombie? Like, the series isn't about gore, it's about suspense, and it's about slow burn, and we know that, but there's a way to take the savageness of today's movies and mix it with that, and he said that they were playing with that. So he said they had multiple kills, they had a lot of prosthetic shit going on because there's some really fucked up bodies and stuff in this, but they're going to go back and post and see how much blood they want to use, how gory they really want to make it. They're paying really close attention to that, and I think that's some more fantastic news. So it's going to be a little bit of a surprise. We don't know how gory
I want them to go so rated R. Pornhub gets embarrassed.
Yeah, dude, I think if the suspense is there, and the slow burn's there, and the story's there, and the characters are there, adding gore to that just adds to it. Now, if it's all about gore, then that's all you have, then it sucks. But you can have the best of both worlds.
I don't mind gore as long as it's part of the storytelling, the narrative. If it fits the narrative and it makes sense, then it's fine to have it in there. If the more blood, the better. That's great. If it's mindless though, if it doesn't make sense while you're just showing somebody getting a toothpick shoved in their urethral hole and pulled out for no reason at all except that it was there. That's stupid. I hope they don't do that.
I don't think they're dreaming about that tonight.
Good. I already had one. That was one of the worst dreams I've ever had. I've shared. But yeah, you're right. They're paying a lot of attention to detail, and it makes it even better. And they're taking their time, which makes it even better. So.
And Christopher Nelson also. This is just a quick cool blurb. He said they used 5 masks for the film.
I want all 4.
They used Christopher Nelson, or not Christopher Nelson, but James Jude Courtney had his mask. Nick Castle had his own mask. They used 2 prop masks, and they had 1 stunt mask. Which is just a pretty cool thought. Like, I want them all behind us right fucking now.
I know. I would love to see how many different versions they went through before they settled on what they have in the trailer or in the movie itself. Because that fucker looked amazing. But I mean, I would just... And that was another thing. I talked to Mike briefly off camera about it. And that was, I think, that what I got scared of when Halloween was announced, which is... It was just a small fear, but... and they hadn't done it in a while, but because of technology being the way it is, and everybody wanted the Shatner mask and have it look clean, kind of, which would have been great. But I thought they were going to throw in some H2O fucking trickery in there, some devilry, where they CG'd the shit a little bit, like just certain scenes like had it CG. I'm like, that's going to look like fucking garbage.
He mentioned specifically that like where you got the prosthetic, where his eye was fucked up from the original, that they actually used prosthetic and covered up his eye, and he said he did as little post to the mask as possible because he wanted that real effect, which is exactly what you want to fucking hear.
I really got Nick Castle to have fucking something shoved in his eye, and we used that shit. But yeah, I mean that was a small brief fear that I had, because that's what H2O really lost in that whole translation. Yeah, that was a terrible idea. That's
baby. So that's the stuff that really stood out to me when I was going through all this news. But the main thing is, guys, is I think we're gonna get a sequel. I think the fucking Halloween lore is alive and well, and they're not gonna kill Michael. And fucking thank you for that.
I'm so horny for this trailer, I could stick my dick in it.
Comment down below with your all thoughts. We love your fucking faces, and we'll have Halloween coverage going all the way up to the movie. And we do tons of other shit too. So it's not the only thing we do here. So if you haven't checked out our other stuff, please check it out. Horror reviews, all that shit. We love your fucking faces. And if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some I say goddamn wham opinion.
Halloween.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.